Section 9. Pandava Pravyasaparva consent. Vaishampayana said, binding her black, soft, fine, long, and faultless tresses with crisped hands into a knotted braid, Draupadi, of black eyes and sweet smiles, throwing it upon her right shoulders, concealed it by her cloth. And she wore a single piece of a black and doughty, though costly cloth. And dressing herself as a Sairindri, she began to wander hither and thither in seeming affliction. And beholding her wandering, men and women came to her hastily and addressed her, saying, "Who are you, and what do you seek?" And she replied, I am a king's Sairindri. I desire to serve anyone that will maintain me. But beholding her beauty and dress, and hearing also her speech, that was so sweet, the people could not take her for a maid servant in search of subsistence. And it came to pass that while looking this way and that from the terrace, Virata's beloved queen, daughter of the king of Kikaya, saw Draupadi. And beholding her forlorn and clad in a single piece of cloth, the queen addressed her, saying, O beautiful one, who are you, and what do you seek? Thereupon Draupadi answered her, saying, O foremost of queen, I am Sairindri. I will serve anybody that will maintain me. Then Sudeshna said, what do you say regarding your profession? Can never be compatible with so much beauty. On the contrary, you might well be the mistress of servants both male and female. Your heels are not prominent, and your thighs touch each other, and your intelligence is great, and your navel deep, and your words solemn, and your great toes, and bust, and hips, and back, and sides, and toenails, and palms are all well developed, and your palms, soles, and face are ruddy, and your speech is sweet, even as the voice of a swan, and your hair is beautiful, and your bust shapely, and you are possessed of the highest grace, and your hips and bust are plump, and like a Kashmirian mare, you are furnished with every auspicious mark, and your eyelashes are beautifully bent, and your nether lip is like the ruddy ground, and your waist is slender, and your neck bears lines that resemble those on the conch, and your veins are scarcely visible. Indeed, your countenance is like the full moon, and your eyes resemble the leaves of the autumnal lotus, and your body is fragrant as the lotus itself. Verily, in beauty you resemble Shri herself, though whose seed is the autumnal lotus. Tell me, O beautiful damsel, who thou art. Thou canst never be a maidservant. Art thou a yakshi, a goddess, a Ganharvi, or an apsara? Who are you, and what do you seek? Art thou a yakshi, a goddess, a Ganharvi, or an apsara? Art thou the daughter of a celestial, or art thou a female naga? Or art thou a female naga? Art thou the guardian goddess of some city, a Vidyadhari, or a Kinnari? Or art thou Rihini herself? Or art thou a Lamvusha, or Mishrakeshi, Pundarika, or Malini, or the queen of Indra, or of Maruna? Or art thou the spouse of Vishvakarman, or of the creative Lord himself? Of these goddesses who art renowned in the celestial regions, who art thou, O graceful one? Draupadi replied, O auspicious lady, I am neither a goddess, nor a Ganhari, nor a Yakshi, nor a Rakshasi. I am a maidservant of the Sairindri class. I tell thee this truly. I know to dress the hair, to pound fragrant substances for preparing unguents, and also to make beautiful and variegated garlands. O beauteous lady, of jasmines and lotuses, and blue lilies and champakas. Formerly, I served Krishna's favorite queen Satyabhama, and also Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas and the foremost beauty of the Kuru race. I wander about alone, earning good food and dress, and as long as I get these, I continue to live in the place where they are obtainable. Draupadi herself called me Malini, maker of garlands. Hearing this, Sudeshna said, I would keep thee upon my head itself, if the doubt did not cross my mind that the king himself would be attracted toward thee with his whole heart. Attracted by the beauty, the females of the royal household and my maids are looking at thee. What male person then is there that can resist thy attraction? Surely, O thou of well-rounded hips, O damsel of exquisite charms, beholding thy form of superhuman beauty, King Virata is sure to forsake me, and will turn to thee with his whole heart. O thou of faultless limbs, O thou that art endued with large eyes, casting quick glances, he upon whom thou wilt look with desire and sure to be stricken. O thou of sweet smiles, O thou that possessest a faultless form, he that will behold thee constantly will surely catch the flame. Even as a person that climbs up a tree for compassing his own destruction, even as the crab conceives for her own ruin, I may, O thou of sweet smiles, bring destruction upon myself by harboring thee. Draupadi replied, O fair lady, neither Virata nor any other person will be able to have me. For my 5 useful husbands, who are Gandharvas and sons of Gandharva king of exceeding power, always protect me. None can do me wrong. It is the wish of my Gandharva husbands that I should serve only such persons as will not give me to touch food already partaken or by another, or tell me to wash their feet. Any man that attempts to have me like the common woman meeteth with death that very night. No one can succeed in having me for or beautiful lady, or those sweet smiles, those beloved Gandharvas possessed of great energy and mighty strength, always protect me secretly. Sudarshana said, "Oh, thou that bringest delight to the heart, if it is as thou sayest, I will take thee into my household. Thou shalt not have to touch food that has been partaken or by another, or to wash another's feet." Vaishampayana continued. Thus, addressed by Virata's wife, or Janamejaya, Krishna Draupadi, ever devoted to her lords, began to live in that city. Nor could anyone ascertain who in reality she was. Thus ends the 9th section in the Pandava Pravesa Parva of the Virataparva. Section 10. Pandava Pravesa Parva continued. Vaishampayana said, "Then clad in a cowherd dresses, in cowherd's dress, and speaking the dialect of cowherds, Sahadeva came to the cow pen of Virata's city, and beholding the bull among men, who was shining in splendor, the king was struck with amazement, and he directed his men to summon Sahadeva. And when the latter came, the king addressed him, saying, 'To whom dost thou belong? And whence dost thou come? And what work dost thou seek? I have never seen thee before. O bull among men, tell me truly about thee.' Having come before the king, that afflicter of foes, Sahadeva answered in accents deep as the roar of the crowd, 'I am a Vaisya, Arishtanemi by name. I was employed as a cowherd in the service of those bulls of the Kuru race, the sons of Pandu. O foremost of men, I intend now to live beside thee, for I do not know where those lions among kings, the son of Pritha, are. I cannot live without service, and O king, I do not like to enter into the service of anyone else save thee.' Hearing these words, Virata said, 'Thou must either be a Brahmana or a Kshatriya. Thou lookst as if thou wert the lord of the entire earth, surrounded by the sea. Tell me truly, O thou that movest down thy foes, the office of a Vaisya is not fit for thee. Tell me from the dominions of what king thou comest, and what thou knowest, and in what capacity thou wouldst remain with us, and also what pay thou wouldst accept. Sahadeva answered, Yudhishthira, the eldest of the 5 sons of Pandu, had one division of 9 of kind numbering 800 and 10,000 and another 10,000 and another again 20,000 and so on. I was employed in keeping those cattle. People used to call me Tantripala. I know the present, the past, and the future of all kind, living within 10 yojanas, and whose tale has been taken. My metrics were known to that illustrious one, and the Kuru king Yudhishthira was well pleased with me. I am also acquainted with the means which aid kind in multiplying within a short time, and by which they may enjoy immunity from disease. Also, these arts are known to me. I can also single out bulls having auspicious marks, for which they are worshipped by men, and by smelling whose urine the barren may conceive. Virata said, I have 100,000 kine divided into distinct herds. All those together with their keepers I place in thy charge. Henceforth my beasts will be in thy keep. Vaishampayana continued, Then, O king, undiscovered by that monarch, that lord of men, Sahadeva, maintained by Virata, began to live happily, nor did anyone else beside his brothers recognize him. Thus ends the 10th section in the Pandava Pravesa of the Virataparva. Section 11. Pandava Pravesa continued. Vaishampayana said, Next appeared at the gate of the ramparts another person of enormous size and exquisite beauty, decked in the ornaments of women, and wearing large earrings and beautiful conch bracelets overlaid with gold. And that mighty armed individual with long and abundant hair floating about his neck resembled an elephant in gait, and shaking the very earth with his tread, he approached Virata and stood in his court. And beholding the son of the great Indra, shining with exquisite lustre, and having the gait of a mighty elephant, that grinder of foes having his true form concealed in disguise, entering the council hall, and advancing towards the monarch, the king addressed all his courtiers, saying, When does this person come? I have never heard of him before. And when the man present spoke of the newcomer as one unknown to them, the king wonderingly said, Possessed of great strength, thou art like unto a celestial, and young, and of darkish hue. Thou resembles the leader of a herd of elephants, wearing conch bracelets overlaid with gold, a braid, and earrings. Thou shinest yet like one amongst those that riding on chariots wander about equipped with mail and bow and arrows and decked with garlands and fire hair. I am old and desirous of relinquishing my burden. Be thou like my son, or rule thou like myself all the Matsyas. It seems to me that such a person as thou can never be of the neuter sex. Arjuna said, I sing, dance, and play on instruments. I am proficient in dance and skilled in song. O Lord men, assign me unto the Princess Uttara. I shall be dancing master of the royal maiden. As to how I have come to this form, what will it avail thee to hear the account which will only augment my pain? Know me, O King, know me, to be the Vrihanala, a son of or daughter without father or mother. Virata said, O Vrihanala, I give thee what thou desirest. Instruct my daughter, and those like her in dancing. To me, however, this office seemeth unworthy of thee. Thou deservest the dominion of the entire earth girt round by the ocean. Vaishampayana continued. The king of the Matsyas then tested Vrihanala in dancing, music, and other fine arts, and consulting with his various ministers, forthwith caused him to be examined by women, and learning that his impotency was of a permanent nature, he sent him to the maiden's apartments. And there the mighty Arjuna began giving lessons in singing and instrumental music to the daughter of Virata, her friends, and her waiting maids, and soon won their good graces. And in this manner the self-possessed Arjuna lived there in disguise, partaking of pleasures in their company, and unknown to the people within or without the palace. Thus ends the 11th section in the Pandava Pravesa Parva of the Virataparva. Section 12. Pandava Pravesa Parva contained. Vaishampayana said, after a while, another powerful son of Pandu was seen making towards King Virata in haste. And as he advanced, he seemed to everyone like solar orb emerged from the clouds. And he began to observe the horses around. And seeing this, the king of the Matsyas said to his followers, I wonder when this man, possessed of the effulgence of a celestial comet, he looks intently at my steeds. Verily, he must be proficient in horse lore. Let him be ushered into my presence quickly. He is a warrior and looks like a god. And that destroyer of foes then went up to the king and accosted him, saying, Victory to thee, O king, and blessed be ye. As a trainer of horses, I have always been highly esteemed by kings. I will be a clever keeper of thy horses. Virata said, I will give thee vehicles, wells, and spacious quarters. Thou shalt be the manager of my horses. But first tell me whence thou comest, who thou art, and how also thou happenest to come here. Tell us also all the arts thou art master of. Nakula replied, Pamuva of enemies, know that Yudhishthira is the eldest brother of the 5 sons of Pandu. I was formerly employed by him to keep his horses. I am acquainted with the temper of steeds and know perfectly the art of breaking them. I know also how to correct vicious horses and all the methods of treating their diseases. No animal in my hands becometh weak or ill, not to speak of horses. Even mares in my hands will never be found to be vicious. People called me Granthika by name, and so did Yudhishthira, the son of Panda. Virata said, "Whatever horses I have, I consign to thy care even from today. And all the keepers of my horses, and all my charioteers will from today be subordinate to thee. If this suits thee, say what remuneration is desired by thee. But, although that resembles the celestial, the office of equerry is not worthy of thee. For thou lookst like a king, and I esteem thee much. Thy appearance here has pleased me as much as if Yudhishthira himself were here. Oh, how does that blameless son of Pandu dwell and divert himself in the forest? How destitute of sovereigns as he is." Vaishampayana continued, "That youth, like unto a chief of the Gandharvas, was treated thus respectfully by the delighted King Virata. And he conducted himself there in such a manner as to make himself dear and agreeable to all in the palace. And no one recognized him while living under Virata's protection. And it was in this manner that the sons of Pandu, the very sight of whom had never been fruitless, continued to live in the country of the Matsyas. And true to their pledge, those lords of the earth, bounded by her belt of seas, passed their days of incognito with great composure, notwithstanding their poignant sufferings. Thus ends the 12th section in the Pandava Pravesa of the Virataparva. Section 13. Samaya Palana Parva. Janamejaya said, "While living thus disguised in the city of the Matsyas, what did those descendants of the Kuru race, endued with great prowess, do, or regenerate one?" Vaishampayana said, "Hear, O king, what those descendants of Kuru did while they dwelt thus in disguise in the city of the Matsyas, worshipping the king thereof. By the grace of the sage Trinavindu, and of the high-souled Lord of Justice, the Pandavas continued to live unrecognized by others in the city of Virata. O Lord of men, Yudhishthira, as courtier, made himself agreeable to Virata and his sons, as also to all the Matsyas. As adept in the mysteries of the dice, the son of Pandu caused them to play at dice according to his pleasure, and made them sit together in the dice hall like a row of birds bound in a string. And the tiger among men, King Yudhishthira the just, unknown to the monarch, distributed among his brothers in due proportion the wealth he won from Virata. And Bhimasen on his part sold to Yudhishthira for price meat and viands of various kinds which he obtained from the king. And Arjuna distributed among all his brothers the proceeds of worn-out clothes, which he earned in the inner apartments of the palace. And Sahadeva too, who was disguised as a cowherd, gave milk, curds, and clarified butter to his brothers. And Nakula also shared with his brothers the wealth the king gave him, satisfied with his management of the horses. And Draupadi, herself in a peaceable condition, looked after all those brothers and behaved in such a way as to remain unrecognized. And thus ministering unto one another's wants, those mighty warriors lived, and the capital of Virata is hidden from view, as if they were once more in their mother's womb. And those lords of men, the sons of Pandu, apprehensive of danger from the sons of Dhritarashtra, continued to dwell there in concealment, watching over their wife Draupadi. And after 3 months had passed away, in the 4th, the grand festival in honor of the divine Brahma, which was celebrated with pomp in the country of the Matsyas, came off. And there came athletes from all quarters by thousands, like hosts of celestials, to the abode of Brahma or of Shiva to witness that festival. And they were endued with huge bodies and great prowess, like the demons called Kalakhanjas. And elated with their prowess and proud of their strength, they were highly honored by the king. And their shoulders and waists and necks were like those of lions, and their bodies were very clean, and their hearts were quite at ease. And they had many a time won success in the lists in the presence of kings. And amongst them there was one who towered above the rest and challenged them all to a combat. And there was none that dared approach him as he proudly stalked in the arena. And when all the athletes stood sad and dispirited, the king of the Matsyas made him fight with his cook. And urged by the king, Bhima made up his mind reluctantly, for he couldn't openly disobey the royal behest. And that tiger among men, then having worshipped the king, entered the spacious arena, pacing with the careless steps of a tiger. And the son of Kunti then girded up his loins, to the great delight of the spectators. And Bhima then summoned to the combat that athlete known by the name of Jimuta, who was like unto the Ashura Vritara, whose prowess was widely known. And both of them were possessed